What happens if you want a brand new version of a car that hasn't existed in decades? Britain's favourite classic car, the MGB. Well, you just buy one of these, the RBW Roadster. I'm Jonny Smith, aka Car Pervert, and this is the Late Break Show. I'm driving through the heart of the Midlands, where the British car industry back in the 50s was the most powerful in the world. It exported more cars than anybody in the world. Fast forward to now, and actually the real success stories coming out of England are either automotive racing, Formula One and racing developments, some EV stuff, but also cottage industries doing restoration, sympathetic modifications like this, like the RBW Roadster. The fit and finish of it is just glorious. I really do think it's glorious, and I was intrigued because I'm going to put my hand up and say I've never really understood the appeal of MGs, but yet I say this when I see modified MGs. They kind of chime with me. I think, yeah, I could probably do a modified MG. I'm not interested in the standard one. Sorry, I'm very tall. I feel like I'm very much hanging out of this car. My head is a lot higher than the windscreen top, hence why I'm wearing obligatory convertible owner's cap. It's also been raining heavily, and it's going to rain heavily again. So we're stood next to one of these brand new body shells, aren't we?
We are.
And this is a hardtop, this particular one. This is MGB GT.
It is, yes.
Yeah. And I'm amazed by what these companies are doing now. You can buy a brand new old car of this, a Mini.
So British Motor Heritage still have all the original tooling for MG, Mini, Triumph.
Wow.
They use some parts of Jaguar as well, like the E-Type bonnet.
Yeah.
And that business has been around since 1974, and it just shows you the longevity of these beautiful British shells.
Yeah. Well, I know that I've talked about for the last couple of years this idea that a lot of modern EV manufacturers with the skateboard style platform returning to coach building by putting a different shell on this skateboard.
Yeah.
But what you've got here is it's a completely new old car.
It certainly is.
It doesn't use the idea of an existing car. It's not a restoration.
It takes that iconic look, but just built into new metal. We do some modifications to the vehicle, not structurally, but we deseam the vehicles. So we hand form these vehicles once we get them from the original tooling, and we hand paint the vehicles. But essentially, this is a 60s vehicle and still looks like it today.
So you've deseamed this here?
We deseam here.
Yeah.
We deseam the sides of the vehicle.
Yeah.
It's all done by hand.
Yeah.
By my technicians in my body shop.
Yeah.
Just to give it a modern look, but also the seams always used to be the capture of ingress of water.
It's corrosion.
Corrosion, yes.
Okay.
And with the modern techniques we've got now for paint and protection, deseaming for us is a smart thing to do to give the car A, a modern look, but B, to give it some more life.
It drives like a very complete, developed car. And I'm not even going into corners fast or anything yet, / at all, given that we're about to have a monsoon rainstorm. You can either deseam it like they tend to, or you can have full LED headlights, or you can have the indicators built into the headlight cluster, or you can have them separate like on this car. Chrome bumper or rubber bumper, left-hand drive, right-hand drive, have the BGT, the hardtop, or the Roadster. And in weather like this, you just want the Roadster, right? Yeah. Well, that's why I'm sitting on one of my hands, because it's actually quite cold. It's just perfect. Flash flooding. This is so British. This is the most popular classic car in Britain, possibly Europe. Always has been. People seem to love MGBs. They're quintessentially British. They look very handsome. The spares availability on the aftermarket is huge, you know, to the point you can buy whole new body shells. So I can see there's a lot of appeal. People love nostalgia. A lot of people grew up around these cars and seen them on the road, and those are the people that I guess are the ones that have fueled the obsession with MGs. Personally, I'm going to be completely honest, I've never really seen the attraction of an MGB or an MG midget. They don't do anything for me in standard form. But as soon as you start modifying an MG, I'm interested. Okay, so it starts off like this. You buy a brand new shell in, right-hand drive, left-hand drive, Roadster or hardtop.
Yes.
And then
we beautify them.
Yeah. So painted to the customer's spec.
Painted to the customer's spec in whichever colour they choose.
Yeah.
I think the other points that people will point out to you is that we've got the RV8 bonnet, a power bulge in an electric car.
I thought at first it was the MGC, because I remember they had to put a bulge in, but that was off-centre, wasn't it?
No, the MGC actually was central.
Was it?
It was central. They had the carb bulge here as well, they had the chrome striping. Now, originally, working with British Motor Heritage, I wanted that bonnet because I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, when they reintroduced the RV8 in the 90s, the tooling for the MGC bonnet was reshaped to give us this modern bonnet.
I can see that this is sort of born out of obsession for you, because this car hasn't really officially gone on sale, really.
No.
You've had a couple of orders, is that right?
We've had a couple of orders, but I didn't want to come to market until I was damn sure we had something that was special and that warranted coming to market. And instead of saying this is what we are going to do, I want to say this is what we've done. So, and that's taken us 3 years to get to the position, but we are now in a production position where people can order a vehicle and have it delivered to them.
I'm getting the impression that Peter, who created RBW, his mantra is very different to British Leyland's. British Leyland's was, don't quite finish developing a car before starting to sell it, and then we'll just work out how many issues customers have. Oh, modified Zafira GSI. Can't beat a Larry people carrier.
The British are very innovative, you know, we invent things, we do things. That's why we make beautiful cars. The Germans, Continental Engineering Services, they productionise and they'll make that car perfect.
Efficient.
And that is exactly where we've arrived. We have a beautiful looking British-based sports car, which is underpinned by state-of-the-art German technology.
Yeah.
That's why I'm now happy to go to market. If you go back to the very old days, you would pick your leather and feel your leather, like we have. You would pick your colour. It would be an engaging experience to buy a vehicle. Now, I don't want to be told off, but the first thing people say to you is 0 to 60.
Yeah.
But you can't cherish 0 to 60. A lot of the times you can't use 0 to 60, but we've gone a little bit emotionless.
Yeah.
And I think there's room in the market for just a little bit of emotion, something that
people will pay handsomely for emotion, for nostalgia, for quality.
I think that I have a
special occasion thing.
Well, yeah, but shouldn't driving a car every time you get in it be a special occasion?
I think so.
You know, I have a sign behind my desk and it says, if you don't look back at your car after you've parked it, you're driving the wrong car.
Yeah. Rainbow. Told you it was a summer's day. So this is the mule, the second mule. First one was the rubber bumper, original MG old car, late 70s. This is the first of the new shells, not quite finished, but this is the one that did all the hard miles, the R&D and all that kind of stuff. And which is why they don't mind if I just do stuff like this. Which is not what I would normally do in a respectful British motor car like an MGB. It's not really appropriate, but then again, you know, it's a brand new, old looking thing. It doesn't have a limited slip diff. And then he said that in a faux Italian. It doesn't have a limited slip diff, as I've just discovered. Why am I doing this? It's pointless. It's only one wheel. Yeah, one wheel peel, right? One wheel peel. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a proof of concept, am I right in thinking
Yes.
that's what?
A sample car,
Yeah.
taking our original ideas
Yeah.
and saying, can we do this?
Yeah.
Have we got the package space? Will it work? This we built to give us sizes, and that was just done in my workshop out of hand with the Continental motor.
Yeah.
So once we thought, yes, we have the package space, we can put the drive shafts in,
Yeah.
and it will fit. And don't forget, we do not cut these body shells. This just fits in with bolts. You take the diff out, it goes in. We do not...
Because it's a live axle car, leaf springs originally,
Absolutely.
is that right?
We removed that, and we just wanted to test that fitted. And all our engineering goes into this area, which we'll see on the later models. But it means all the stress of the new torque goes through our frames.
And it bolts into the original mountings.
Regional mounting, 16 bolts, and we're in. This was built by Continental Engineering Services
Yeah.
to prove the concept. Putting the EIM2 motor in, drive shafts we had made to go out.
Yeah.
Frame went in, suspension. The suspension we've mentioned, which was
That's
TRW.
nice. So it's IRS now rather than live
Absolutely.
axle.
IRS.
Tubular steel construction.
Well, this is the concept vehicle, so it's
Yeah.
tubular. We still have tubular now, but it's moved on.
That's cool. So motor is 70 kilowatt?
70 kilowatt motor, yes.
Right, okay, okay. Let's go over to that car.
Okay.
Okay, so is this B sample?
This is B sample
Oh, right,
car.
okay, I'm learning.
We take the learning from that vehicle
Yeah.
to create the B sample. And that's really where our relationship started with Hyperdrive batteries. A is the relationship between Hyperdrive and the management system provided by Continental Engineering Services,
Yeah.
and how we've been able to exploit that to get the most power out of the batteries. I think we're up 26% now from where we started.
Up 26?
Up to 26
From the same...
From the same cells.
Wow. Okay.
And that's OEM guys talking together to say, how can we get best an automotive battery going?
Yeah.
Of course, Hyperdrive used Nissan cells.
Yeah.
So this is OEM automotive standard. It's proven. But that relationship and bringing it into our vehicle has been absolutely key to this.
Wow. The only really way I feel like I'm in an old car is the wipers. They don't wipe very well because they're the same design as an original MG. 35 kilowatt hour battery packs assembled by Hyperdrive up in Sunderland, and they're actually working on Hitachi trains, electric trains, JCB electric earth movers, all kinds of big projects. And I know Hyperdrive well because they were the guys that constructed the battery pack and the battery management system for my flux capacitor EV dragster that I made about 5 or 6 years ago. So it's limited to 80 miles an hour top end. Electric power steering, but it's actually pleasantly weighted. It's not too light. It's not a sort of finger and thumb operation. You've got to properly grip it. It has some feel, which I'm pleased about. It would have felt wrong having a car like an MGB with a, pinky finger light steering. That'd be a bit weird. How on earth did you start on this journey?
I took a year out of business. I wasn't very well. And someone said to me, when you go back, why don't you do something you enjoy? So I actually started just buying and selling classic cars from home. And then I thought, I need a body shop to be able to improve these vehicles and sell them. And I started a body shop. This was all in 2017. That went quite well. And then I went on a journey with my wife to Bath.
An actual journey,
an actual
not
journey.
a business journey.
No, in an MG Roadster, with some friends in an MG Roadster.
Yeah.
We went to Bath, and on the way back we stopped in the Cotswolds, and we parked my 66 MG Roadster and my friend's 68 behind each other, went for a meal. When we came out, you couldn't see the cars. There was tourists around the cars photographing, Japanese tourists, American tourists, all asking us about the cars. And can we sit in, which was a mistake, because you have to stay another hour, but And driving back from that experience, my wife said, I would love one of these. They're just beautiful, but I can't drive it. You know, it's no power steering. Is it reliable? And that worry.
Yeah.
Can you build me a modern one? And that evolved in that same day to being, let's try and build an electric one. I emailed the guys at Continental Engineering Services saying we have an idea. I'd done a mock-up drawing. I sent it to them.
Yeah.
But I sent it to a number of companies. Within 12 hours of that email, I had a response saying I'd like to come and see you. They are electric experts right on my doorstep, which I didn't know. Their business development man came down to see me.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, said, yeah, I think there's something here. Later that evening, he phoned and said, my boss would like to meet you. I thought, well, this is a good start. I'm only this big. He's coming on Wednesday from Germany. We had a big tidy up in my classic car business. We even built an office, which they came through the roller shutter.
Built an office?
We built an office. We thought we've got to look trying, first impressions. And they never came through the office door. They came through the roller shutter anyway. But that started a conversation.
Yeah.
And they got it. They got it straight away, what I was trying to do.
They understood the concept that you were going to do a brand new
Yes.
classic car EV.
Absolutely. By no means has it been easy. We've started with a very difficult proposition. This car is very small.
Yeah.
So to
Yes,
package,
it is.
Yeah, to package everything in this car is difficult.
Yeah.
But it's not just for this car. This package is a system. That system, that rear harness will fit in other classic vehicles. Our battery management system, which we've developed, is all there to go into different classic car vehicles for the future.
Yeah.
But we know we've got a safety case. And
Yeah.
we know it's homologated. We've done the testing, the architecture, and the system is there for other vehicles.
Honestly, the suspension, the ride of this car is superb. And it's really quite stiff. And when I say that, I mean it's stiff in a good way. It's not race car stiff. I can't feel scuttle shake. It doesn't wibble and wobble and flex like an old convertible does. It feels very, very well put together. So you're probably going, yeah, Johnny, it looks great and stuff, but how much is it? It's from £88,000, which is a lot of money, yes, no doubt. That's for a turnkey bespoke car to your taste. However, you've got companies like Frontline, for example, who make Restomod, Mazda MX-5 drivetrain MGBs and MGB GTs. They start at 90 grand. I'm going to say right now, with this car made the way it is, it's perfect for America, perfect for progressive states like California. It comes with its IVA. It's been tested stringently. It's got a 3-year warranty on the car. It's got an 8-year warranty on the batteries. I've got rain in my eyes, damn it. I really can't see much. I'm gonna have to dip down. Well, I've got Ian here. He's Continental engineering man. So you can talk to me about the guts of the car, really, the important guts. Now I can see at the front you've got a subframe, which is that MG, original MG?
Well, the cradle in the original subframe here, it starts off as a MG component, and
Yep.
the rest of the suspension is fully bespoke and designed. So it's got, as
There
you can
out.
see, there outwards, absolutely.
Yep.
It's got a double wishbone suspension.
Yeah, tubular.
Yeah, tubular,
Yep.
and it's got a coilover shock absorber arrangement and a large disc braking system,
Yep.
front and rear on this vehicle,
Yep.
with bespoke manufactured wheel hubs.
Each one of these is what? 5.75 kilowatt hours. So how many kilowatt hours am I looking at here, Ian?
So this is roughly 35 kilowatt hours as a complete battery pack.
Yeah.
This is all mounted in, obviously the engine is removed from what would be the original
Yeah,
vehicle.
no gearbox, no engine.
And the gearbox, so if you can see roughly the shapes and the way this mimics, this sort of supplements where the engine and the gearbox
Engine and
weight
box.
would have been.
Yes.
That is high voltage interlock loop, so if any connectors become unplugged or this actually cuts the battery, closes the contacts, opens the contacts on the battery
Yep.
to make sure that it's a fully safe system. So we don't use anything other than fully approved H-Filter.
So it's basically modern.
Absolutely, it's all OEM, all OEM designed.
Wow, I'm impressed. Obviously Continental make the motor, and I'm right in thinking that Continental make motors for existing brand new EVs.
this would be akin, it's something like a Renault Zoe or something along those lines.
Renault Zoe, okay, so 70 kilowatt motor off the production line, so proven.
Absolutely, proven with all the durability and all the DV test and all the testing that would be with any automotive mainstream component. This cradle is obviously, again, Adams modelled, so it's all got the stress analysis on it.
Yeah.
We utilise the existing mounting points, the strong points from the body shell, so there's nothing changed there, all in cooperation with British Motor Heritage. They're happy for us to use those points. They're the strong points of the original body shell. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously the control. So once again back to the EVCM controller.
Yeah.
We obviously would do recalibration and make the architecture work with this particular platform.
It starts and it finishes with safety. So if we were going to put high torque and a powerful motor into these vehicles, the first conversation I had with them in 2017 was, can we do it safely? And signing off production is, can we do it safely?
Yeah.
We can encompass sport in there and a great drive, but that's where we're at, and that's a comfort to us.
You've got a warranty?
We've got a 3-year warranty, we've got 8 years on the batteries. I think the underlying position is that we've created a beautiful car on a modern platform.
Yeah.
And that's what we set out to do.
Now obviously, because it's automatic and single gear, there's no gear stick. You've got a rotary dial here to select your drive modes, very similar to the current Jaguar Land Rover setup. You've got this lovely digital binnacle here, which I actually really like. It's the tasteful mashup between retro and futuristic. They teamed up with Pioneer for the Bluetooth sat-nav audio system here with speakers down there, sub down there. It's good. Retro style air vents. So gauges wise, speedo on the right, state of charge in the middle, a smaller gauge. D obviously because I'm in drive, ready because the car's on. Manual handbrake is down. I love that. Don't need an electric handbrake. And then this here is obviously, green is for power usage, so the amount of power I'm currently using. And then blue is regen. It has regenerative braking that's automatically dialed in. You can't adjust it, it just exists. Are you enjoying the sunshine? It's lovely. Lovely, there you go, a bit of regen braking. The digital needle swings into the blue. Some of the batteries live under the bonnet, some of them live in this transmission tunnel where the big original gearbox would have gone. And then you've got the optional 7th battery pack, which can sit at the front of the boot, and that's just for extra range, no more performance. They could have got more performance out of this car. It's 8.9 seconds to 60, but it's supposed to reflect really like a sort of slightly warmed over version of the original MGB was like. In other words, it's not trying to be madly quick, and especially like all EVs, 0 to 40 is where it counts like this. Really good. Does the car weigh a lot more than the normal MG? Because I know weight's always been a problem with EVs.
No, definitely not. Obviously, a lot of the engineering and the effort that we put in was trying to maintain as much as we can 50-50 weight distribution, which we've achieved our target really, really well. Yeah. And also try and keep all the weight down low. And it's something around 40 kgs greater than the original production.
Is that all?
Vehicle, yeah.
So it's totally comparable. And charging time, charging rate?
About 3.5 kilowatt charger in there, so the charging time is around 8 hours for a full charge.
Okay.
Currently it's not a fast charging system, but obviously developments in the future, maybe incorporate something along those lines. But as you can see, it plugs into a domestic 13 amp 3 socket. Yeah. You can go a home wall box, or you can use a public charge station.
Yeah. What kind of a range have you been getting out of it?
Real world range on the 6 cell, we've been looking at about 160 miles at constant 70 miles an hour. We're looking at about around the 120 miles.
So motorway speed's about 120 something.
Yeah.
All round real world 160. That's actually better than I thought.
Yeah.
I wish there was a heated seat option, which is not a particularly difficult thing to do nowadays. And I wish it had a faster charging option. So although the range is pretty good for the size of the battery, I would like to be able to charge it quicker. Just like that Landrover Defender that I featured in an earlier episode of the Late Break Show, and if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link up here. These cars They are beautifully executed versions of classics. They're not going to be for everyone, they're not going to be to everyone's taste, but what they do is they allow people who otherwise might not have been interested in old cars to be interested in old cars. I guess future-proofing it. You can drive this all day around a city, it's never going to overheat. You don't need to like worry about cold starts. You don't really need to worry about servicing on the level of an old car or regular checks. And you could easily spend 50 grand restoring an old car to a high standard. So actually, when you think of it like that, the price tag's not lunatic. Oh, hello. And you know, and that's the thing. I'm not pushing this car hard today because the weather conditions are gross. But you know, 8.9 seconds to 60, 80 mile an hour capped top speed. The guy said it himself, who's been living and breathing this project for the last 3 years. It's a cruiser, but it's for people that want the feeling of the original MG and the kind of performance from the original MG. You don't want to feel outside of your comfort zone. It's still rear wheel drive, it still has no traction control. It still has a good weight to the controls, like really nice. German engineering underneath, British engineering on the outside. There's a lot to like here. It's a lot to get people who wouldn't normally buy classics interested. I can't quite believe how refined and good this car is. I know it's expensive, but it's so well refined and put together, and it handles well. It looks beautifully built. It's so un-MGB. I don't even like MGBs normally, but this one's another matter. This one's really quite something good. Thanks for watching as usual. If you haven't already subscribed to The Late Break Show, please hit the subscribe button. Give us a comment. What do you like seeing? What do you not like seeing? And Patreons, if you're a Patreon subscriber already, thank you so much. If you don't know what I mean, I will leave a little description down there somewhere. Thank you. Bye. Is that all right?
Jonny, loving it.
Hello. Thank you. He's loving it.